This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra percent from the people that follow you. Plus, you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard. Hello everybody, welcome back. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Before we do that though, just to put it out there that this is all part of what I deemed the everything bounce. So Bitcoin is moving through association with traditional markets. Traditional markets are all moving up, and they have been since the video I made 4 weeks ago, which basically marked the bottom of that particular portion of the downtrend. I think there's still further downside to go, but it doesn't mean that we can't go up throughout this month, which is what I was expecting anyway. So we're getting this thing called the everything bounce, and with that, traditional markets, equities, stocks, indexes, they're all moving up, and commodities are all moving down. This is all part of why I thought the everything bounce was going to happen. Commodities basically finding a massive peak and breaking down, and traditional markets finding a particular area of significance and then moving up, and then basically crypto and Bitcoin moving through association with all of that. So I'm not under the illusion that Bitcoin and crypto is doing anything different to the traditional markets. This is all part of that everything bounce that I spoke about about 4 weeks ago. It was 4 weeks ago today actually when I actually put those bids in for all those stocks and indexes. But it doesn't mean we can't look at Bitcoin as well, because obviously it's got its own chart going on, and we found a little top last night, or well, I suppose on this candle over here, yeah, so in the middle of the night for me really. That I don't think is the absolute top of this particular run, but just like any uptrend, we move up, we come down to support. Basically, from what we can see here, the 10 exponential moving average on the 4 hourly. We are a little hot on the money flow index and the RSI as well. We don't have any bearish divergence on these as yet, so that's good. It doesn't mean it can't come down, is that? Yeah, that's pretty much level with itself, isn't it really? And the money flow index obviously is hot, and when you're thinking about a money flow index on a 4 hourly, you just got to look back in time and see how hot these generally get to mark particular areas of significance. It's pretty hot for a 4 hourly, to be honest with you. So let's just have a little look, back test some of these previous peaks. So we'll just do it incrementally, just so you can have a look yourself really. So that marked a top, this top here on this resistance. This marked a top here on this resistance. This marked a top on this resistance. This marked a top on this resistance. This marked a peak on this resistance. These marked not particular a top. That did come down to consolidate on the 10 exponential, move back up again, top. So there is rhythm to the money flow index, and this is why I always say we should watch it. And to be honest with you, I should make a tutorial about it really. It's pretty simple stuff, and it's very good at spotting particular tops. But as we can see, generally speaking, yeah, when we do come up to this overextended area on the money flow index, and again this is just a 4 hourly, it has marked tops, and so you could only assume that rhythm will follow, and that this marks a particular top. If not this one, the next move up, and the next move up could easily take us to the 200 simple and the 200 exponential, which currently sits around 22,760. I think yesterday what we were talking about was that invalidation of this inverse cupping handle would take place if we can continue to remain supported above 21,750. We are currently a little lower than that right now, which means that this is just, you know, potentially a part of the cupping handle formation, which is bearish when it's an inverse cupping handle like what we see here. I don't know if you watch my channels, if this is the first time you stumbled across it. I know most people are subscribers, but there are, I think, about 40% of you actually that aren't subscribers. But we talked about this is a cupping handle. Technically this is still a cupping handle, and what you'd be looking for really would be for this to break out from the cup. As somebody pointed out, is it a cup for tea or is it a cup for coffee? Well, that looks more like a cappuccino cup to me. I wouldn't drink tea out of something like that. Maybe in other European countries you would, but not in England. You wouldn't, unless you were upper class. You probably would drink tea out of a cup like that. But it's not the standard. Anyway, cappuccino cup, right? So in short, what I'd be looking for, if we can remain reasonably static or at least continue with the uptrends with traditional markets, which we will know more about as we get closer towards 2 to 2:30 in the afternoon UK time, so American markets will open around then. We'll know a little bit more, maybe a bit more in the pre-market, to be honest with you. But for the moment, I would probably say that the best course of action for Bitcoin right now is similar to this big move up. We came down to the 10 exponential, gained support, we had a little pump up here, gained support, pump up here, probably gain support around here, and then go on for another run to meet the 200 exponential on the 4 hourly, which again is 22,750 give or take, and that would probably mark a significant top on this current run. And if we can remain supported above 21,750, that would be great, because it would render this whole inverse cupping handle obsolete. It would be invalidated, which technically is kind of bullish. But like I said at the beginning, I'm not under any illusion that Bitcoin or crypto is doing its own thing. It's very much tied into traditional markets more than ever, and the everything bounce that I spoke about was based on traditional markets and commodities, and Bitcoin was like an afterthought of all of that, and the only positions that I put myself in was stocks and indexes. No more crypto for me. I've got plenty of that already, and there's no need to buy any more. And plus, my stocks and shares account was basically sitting in a 90% cash position since last December, so it has been burning a hole in my pocket. And so far, it's done pretty well. You know, some of these stocks up 15, 18%, indexes up about 5%, you know, thereabouts. So it's done okay, and it was working out as expected. Now, the Bitcoin dominance chart is something of reasonable concern to a lot of people. We talk about it a lot on this channel. It's a way to gauge what your portfolio should reflect, you know, as in how many altcoins to Bitcoin should you have. Now, I've been pretty clear, I'm mostly in a Bitcoin position. I rotated out of some Bitcoin into altcoins around here. That's where we did those 50% gain altcoin trades. That was pretty good. But as we came back down again, I said, look, the center of this Bollinger Band, which is this big fat pinky one here, that is mostly gonna I would say be a support, and if it does break down as a support, we'll be on a very tight schedule really for a calamity event for altcoins. So whether Bitcoin moons or it crashes, you know, the closer we are down here to 40%, I'll be extremely scared to hold lots of altcoins. Altcoins can be tradable. They are tradable. Make lots of little scalps. We've seen some of these moves recently. ICP doing a decent move yesterday. Jasmy doing a decent move yesterday. But all giving back their gains at the moment. And that shouldn't really come as a big surprise when we see the dominance chart sort of bouncing from that center of the Bollinger Band, your 20 weekly moving average. So, you know, this has been a bullish chart for a little while, and if you go back to the daily, the standard practices as well, which is why I said that I think we're going to get an alt season. That's how we managed to bag those 50% gains, is that we had a golden cross, we were trending up, we were moving up towards the top of a resistance, and then you normally would expect a retest of the golden cross. We got all of that. That favoured altcoins massively. We did really well out of that, but now that we've come down to retest it and we're reclaiming these zones, I think up is the only way for Bitcoin dominance. So if you are going to be trading altcoins, just be very careful with them, because the better place to be, as it looks right now, is going to be a much larger Bitcoin position. And you might think that that's boring, but if it's gains you're talking about, let's have a look at what we've got going on here. I know that I've got ICP up here, which is outperforming Bitcoin ever so slightly, but I mean, Bitcoin's up 5% right now, and probably, you know, I'll be looking for a bounce around here and moving up again. Bitcoin might be boring, but if your main goal is to try and make money, or I suppose maybe not even make money, but I suppose try and limit losses, then Bitcoin is the main one really. And I'm not suggesting that the low is in for Bitcoin at all. In fact, on a cycle basis, I think it's very unlikely that it is in, although it very likely could be in later on this year, between September, October, November. We've discussed that a few times on the channel. But yeah, I think we go on for another little run, but it's on borrowed time, given the money flow index on that 4 hourly showing significant peaks. So at best we get supported around here. At worst, you know, I suppose not worst, but we come back down to just above 20,000, which is the middle of this range of the cupping handle, and hope that we get supported around there, because if we don't, we then end up forming the last stages of the cup of the handle. which would suggest breakdown time going on to make a brand new low on the chart. Anyway, we'll have to see how the day plays out. Again, you have to reiterate, we are at the mercy of traditional markets. We have to keep our eyes focused on traditional markets. They are all over the place. I mean, the euro is basically wrecked city. €1 for $1 now. That's what it is. The euro is wrecked. The pound is obviously wrecked as well. The dollar is strong. So I mean, Europe appears to be getting sucked into some big black hole at the moment, and the UK is drifting off into the ocean further and further over to the North Pole. You know, that's probably, so everything's a bit of a mess right now, but for the moment, let's keep our eyes on traditional markets, the Dixie, oil, and major indexes all in the US, and that will help us gauge the strength or the weakness of what Bitcoin's going to do next. Because again, you know, we can't look at this and fool ourselves into thinking this is some kind of reversal. It's just a bounce. Look at it. You zoom out on a 4-hourly chart, you can barely see it. So it has been good. It's been nice, but let's not get too excited. This is most likely going to be our resistance here, 22,700. Which is 400. So your 4-hourly 200 exponential and simple moving average. And if we don't reach that, then you could consider that have been front run already. Now that has been a front run target, and we are already coming down. Again, I'm not looking to trade this right now. I'm looking to see how it goes, and wait for traditional markets to open later on today. If you're interested though, join my Patreon, join my Telegram. I've got a Discord now as well with some tutorials, and you get extra bonuses on there as well if you're part of the Patreon. I'm trying to expand this whole social media side, you know, because I'm just sitting around here twiddling my thumbs for the most part. I thought I might as well do a little work on social media, see if I can become popular, maybe even go viral, maybe go viral. Other than that though, I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.